Hello my dears, Goody here, and I figured it was high time that I got around to answering all of your questions. I've been kind of busy lately, and I haven't really had time to record the marathon amount of time that I would have wished to. Also, if you hear any sounds that sound like a puppy, or a snoring puppy, that is because I am dog sitting this weekend, and there's a puppy that is mad snoozing next to me, so I have to excuse those sounds. I really don't know how much I'm going to edit out of this, so we're just going to go in and get some of these questions answered. So, to start off, I wanted to move this one to the top, because since it's kind of based around a lot of my channel, from Wooten, AIE, I'm Noodle Bro. He asks, what got you interested in doing audio work in the first place? Well, kind of a long story, so I hope you have 2.5 hours set aside. No, but back when I was in high school, my late high school, probably my last 2 years, I want to say, my friends and I started doing a lot of amateur filmmaking. And no, not that kind of filmmaking. We never, ever, I assure you, did documentaries. It was straight up just porn all the time. I'm just kidding. Don't film porn, kids. We did like sketch comedy kind of stuff, and we even made something for our high school's film festival for the end of our second year. And that was a lot of fun. And I kind of thought, wow, this is really something I think I might pursue on the side, just like kind of this creative thing. And so when I get to college, I decide that I want to get into this kind of work. So I pick up a broadcasting major and I start to work with it. Now, by the time I started taking some production classes, the semester started with video editing, and we were all put in groups. My group was particularly large. There were like 7 or 8 of us, and when there's that many people, it's like, you know, the whole too many chefs in one kitchen deal. So 2 of them really knew what they were doing with the video work, and a lot of the rest of us were like, what do you want us to do? Just sit around, whatever? So, a lot of it was just working with video and, like, camera work and all that. And, it was a very news-based teaching practicum. So, that's all well and good, but that's where most of the video stuff focused on. And I kind of fell off, unsure if that's kind of the route I wanted to take, and wonder if I should switch over to some kind of film or whatever. But then, in the second part of this class, for the second half of the semester, we studied audio. And this is where I really started to shine. Because in audio, it's not just always going to be news. When you listen to commercials and stuff on the radio, you're going to hear like different kinds of scenes to help promote businesses and stuff. You're going to hear, I don't know, people like fighting off bobcats and things. I don't know, but all just kinds of like crazy stuff. Like, give your commercials a good listen and just think of how many like set some kind of scene, like a fictional scene to like sell a product or a car or something. And you'd be surprised how much you'd see there. But like creating fictional things like that and creative arts, that's what really sold it for me, just the theatrics of it all. And that's what really got me into doing audio plays when I was in college. And it was a lot of fun. Like my last year, I got to have the most fun with it. I wrote my own stuff. I wrote my own scripts. I brought in voice actors from the theater department and the music department. And I just made all kinds of just really fun things. It was a blast. It actually like won some national awards for just how much people liked them. And when I graduated, it wasn't really, there's not really a whole lot of things outside the radio profession that you can do that kind of thing for. So it had been a while since I got back on the train of doing this sort of thing. But the fandom and all the production stuff I heard done, like content, and I don't mean like just the pony fandom, I mean like creepypastas And I just thought to myself, this would be something really fun to do on the side. I just have to find the right sort of thing to do and like produce some kind of good stories to bring to life. And along comes the fandom, along comes listening to people narrate creepypastas, and I thought this would be great. I could totally do this. And in doing so, I met a lot of cool people, which I will, I'll touch on that, some questions down the line here. But when I got into, getting back to it, when I got into audio production, that's where I kind of started to formulate in my mind that I think that, and this is just me talking, that this is the perfect medium between books and movies, TV, movies, and stuff. Because think about this. You're reading a book. The villain is introduced, and the writer gives a description of how their voice sounds. Personally, I struggle a little to put a voice with how it's described. In audio, you get that done for you. You can hear that voice, but you also have the freedom in your own mind to formulate what you think that character looks like. And that's a lot easier to do when you have a voice to work with. Now, take a book being turned into a movie, like Hunger Games or something, or Harry Potter. The director formulates his own perspective on how a character should look. Granted, yes, I know they coordinate with the author. I hope they coordinate with the author at least. But nevertheless, it is still the director's interpretation, because that director is also deciding what to put in the movie, what to cut from the movie, because, you have runtimes and all that. But anyway, with audio, there is still an innumerable number of possibilities for you to place in your own mind. That's the beautiful thing about the human mind, because it can create. It can create anything that is given to it. Audio enhances that creativity. Music does it in a lot of similar ways, because music can shape our emotions, and in turn, our emotions can also shape music. But I'm getting carried away with this question, so I hope that answers it, Wooten, and to anyone else interested. Next up, we have several questions from Kate Bug. First question, asked by her, and Von Blackhooves asks, what's your favorite food? Well, that is a very good question. Now, I'm going to answer pizza, but there's a very specific kind of pizza, and it's homemade pizza. There's no topping it. Get it? Topping. Haha! I'm not funny. Homemade pizza has been something that good old mom has cooked and taught me how to make ever since I was a wee tyke. So that's always something I love. But if you want something else that I could never get enough of, are these things called corn fritters. If you've ever heard of them. They're like these fried, they're kind of like a donut-y kind of thing. They're like a little fried ball. They're just rolled up in flour, and you dip them in syrup. Oh god, they're so good. And I bet that our English listeners right now are like, God, Americans, that is disgusting! And that was a terrible British accent. Why aren't you narrating people's lives for a living, is her next question. Because that is not the most lucrative thing. Though I think it'd be pretty cool just to go around like that Storytime guy did. And that was pretty funny stuff. Where it's like, have a guy who just, instead of writing memoirs, he just has a guy follow him around with a microphone. Like, David knew that in order to become CEO, he had to topple the business like a house of cards. Who is your favorite animated villain? Ooh. I think one of my favorite villains, this is going back up, like, this is Baby Goody growing up. Probably him from the Powerpuff Girls, just because, he was seen as this horrible evil. And at the same time, he was just like so flamboyant with his mannerisms and his voice. It was just so funny. He was just always on point, and you could tell that his voice actor had, I can't remember his name right now, just had so much fun voicing him. Because he just does not care. Well, he cares, but he's just so like laid back. He's like, yes, I'm the ultimate evil, but I'm going to dick around or whatever. Also, being a fan of Sonic was Dr. Robotnik. Because, yes, not Eggman, Robotnik. That's what he was called back in the day. And I will refer to him as such from aforesaid back in the day. I collected a bunch of the comic books up until I think in my storage garage I have all the issues from issue 0 to like 170 something or other. I can't remember. There's just one point where I just stopped ordering them. I can't remember why I did. It was probably a slip in the mind. But yeah, in that and then the Sonic AM, Sonic Sat AM, whatever it was called. Yeah, just that. You're just such like a nasty villain. It was like surprisingly dark for a kid show, and I didn't mind that at all. Are you a woman? I don't know how you figured it out, Caitlin, but this is what happens when you smoke a lot. So don't do drugs, kids. Who is your favorite Kate Bug? Well, between Kate Bug and I would say Kate Bug, oh man. I'm going to have to go with Kate Bug on this one. I know Kate Bug has quirks and this and that going for her, but Kate Bug just has like, you know, the other bit of Kate Bugginess that you need. Yeah, that's my answer. Next question is from Gina M, who asks, what's your favorite Fiddler on the Roof song? I'm going to guess this comes from... when my Q&A, I went, tradition! And referenced it. So, my favorite song from Fiddler on the Roof, yeah, tradition's good, but I'm also a fan of L'Chaim to Life and Matchmaker. Those, like, I really love the waltzy feel to Matchmaker. Da 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 da. And I'm totally blanking on the words right now for some reason. I really like those two. It's not my favorite musical. Again, I think that's a question I was asked later on as well, so I will get to it when I get to it. Deadly Reg asks, who pooped in the shoe? Deadly Reg asks, what do you most enjoy about creepypastas? Their quality varies, so what makes a good creepypasta? Well, I remember I talked about this a little bit when I did the Drunken Slender LP with Lost, if you haven't checked that out. Well, the thing about creepypastas is that I have always been a fan of the horror genre. And, I don't know, I like horror movies, but, yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, it kind of feels that a lot of horror movies modern day have kind of become a little stale, and it's really sad to see that happen, because I think my favorite horror series is the Ju-On series, or The Grudge for the American variant. But the Ju-On series, in my opinion, this is the Japanese version, which is hell of a lot scarier. And that goes all the way back to like the made-for-TV ones. Look those up first, because despite how much you can tell it was a low budget, they still do a really good job. But I tangent yet again. big surprise. Yeah, I've always really liked horror movies. The thing about creepypastas is if there's some kind of sense of realism there. Like, a lot of them, like, kind of say, you know, I was in my apartment, my sister had my keys, da-da-da-da-da. The stories are established because they think, well, real-life situations, things like this could happen. Thing about, like, monsters and stuff is, they gotta be introduced right. For things like The Rake, Slender Man, Laughing Jack, they're more commonly seen in the creepypasta fandom. So people like to take their own turns and twists on them. The problem is they've been around for so long that people, especially with Slender Man, oh my god, people twist and turn them in so many different ways that it's just like, what exactly does this monster do? Like, Slender Man, like, yeah, he stalks people, he captures children, he plays mind games with people, he drives people insane and turns them into murderers. Like I don't know exactly what he's trying to do here. So it's just all these different interpretations that just make you wonder what's going on. So, like I said, I like creepypastas that establish some kind of realism. Like, I did, you'll find on my channel, I did The Murderous Confessions of a Gazer. That's probably a more recent story I recall that definitely made me freak out a bit. Just because, you know, on the one hand, you're like, yeah, this could happen. There's a lot of realism to this. But then you're like, yeah, but it's still fictional. Right? I'd encourage you to go check it out if you haven't already. I'll link in the description below if you're interested. Next question. Les Miserables covers when? Good question. As soon as I feel confident in my ability to sing Stars. That's one of my probably favorite songs from that musical. So I plan to cover that first at some point. I think it's a little underrated in among all the songs from the musical. But Les Miserables, I really do like it. It's got some wonderful music. I've been playing it for years and years. But Stars, I remember when I went to finally go see Les Miserables, that when I heard Stars, I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. How have I not heard this one yet? But yeah, it's one I really enjoyed, and I would love to cover it at some point. So you can expect that sometime down the line. Last question from him, from Deadly Reg, is, why is Little Mac best fighter? Okay, get that shit out of here. The Game & Watch Hammer of Judgment begs to differ, Reg. It begs to differ. And then it smacks you off screen, okay? Yeah, what are you looking at, dog? I know, I see you. I don't main Game & Watch, but he's probably my second or third best character, I would say. What do you think? Yeah, probably my second or third best. And he's a lot of fun to play. He's a glass cannon, but I don't know. I have fun smashing with my bros. Von Blackhooves asks, what do you like to cook? Good question. I love cooking. My favorite thing to make is my lasagna. It takes, I would say, actually 2 to 3 days of preparation just to get it just right. And that way you're not taking one day driving yourself crazy trying to make it. So I like to prep in advance. Thing about it, and I understand that this is a little, it's not as traditional as regular lasagna, but we actually put our meat sauce on top, like a very thin layer, right on top of a bunch of cheese. And yeah, we love putting meat sauce on it. It's just filled to the brim. Like it's our, it's a deep dish style lasagna there. Kind of like a Chicago style pizza, you might know there. And I don't know why I'm talking like this, but yeah, it's a really deep dish lasagna. Like we have about probably 3 to 4 layers of pure pasta. It's delicious. And it fills you up faster than you think. I make a good fettuccine alfredo. I mentioned above homemade pizza. I'm good at that. So, yeah. Serve that with a nice port or merlot, and you got yourself an evening with the goodie. Or Chardonnay, if you prefer white wines, but I digress. You can invite anyone from the Brony community to a dinner party. Who would you invite, and what would you serve? I would probably say anything from the above. Probably the lasagna, and invite, oh god, I don't know, probably my fellow narrators. Losty, Scribs, Caggles, Wooten. Wooten probably be like, where's the spaghetti? And then he'd noodle my padoodle. Anyway, where about in the world do you live, and how old are you? You could be as specific or as broad or as abstract as you would like. Well, since you put it that way, I live in the vast expanse of cornfields in the United States. Yeah, but I do live in a city, though. I'm a rather refined and classy 27-year-old city boy, if you will. Visual Pony asks, thoughts on Fallout Equestria and its various side fics. You know, I really like Fallout Equestria. I read the first one. I finished it, oh god, several years ago at this point. And being a fan of the Fallout games, I think it did a pretty good job merging stuff together. And it did another really good job with giving it some of its own lore. Which is something that, I know it's something that a lot of crossover writers have trouble with. I'm also caught up on Project Horizons, and I think that one's pretty good. It's, there's a lot, some people have said in the past that they can see several points where the story could have ended, and would have been just fine, I guess. And at the point where I'm at now, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can kind of see that at this point, because it's just like, this is great, but it's got to get wrapped up, and that's not a blow to the author by any means. He's a great writer, but he's really winding down to the big finale now, and I look forward to see what he has to write. Other fics in the Fallout universe, Fallout Equestria universe, I mean, I have some on my read this at work list, but I'm not sure when or if I'm going to get around to it, because it's a lot of things. And when I was reading Project Horizons, I couldn't help but think to myself, man, Somber must be driving himself batshit crazy trying to link up the timelines between Blackjack and Co. and Little Pip and Co. and between all the news updates and linking this the stories together and all the events together. And I have to think, wow. I used to look at the EQT post thinking, with all these stories, just a Fallout Equestria update page, that's just blog after blog after blog after blog. You're like, oh my god, these people must be going crazy trying to link those two things together with their own work. And it's like, I don't think I'm going to read all of these, but there are a couple I might check out in the future. Who made my avatar? I assume you mean this form of me, which I will now morph into on the screen. This was actually done by EmberDim, who's a very good friend of mine. I've worked with him on a few projects in the past, and as you've seen on my channel, he's done some artwork for me. I really like his artwork. And I had thought, just for the hell of it, I asked him if he thought he could do a persona variant of me instead of just a pony-sona, and he did this up. Yeah, I really like his work. I'm going to link his DeviantArt in the description as the puppy yawns. Yeah, I'm going to link him below, and you should definitely check him out, because he does a lot of stuff, and he has a lot of fun with it. Pizza or pasta? One of those situational things. This is the third time I've mentioned homemade pizza in this video, so I'm going to lean towards that, I think. But pasta's still good, too. Coke or Pepsi? If we're talking just between those two, I like Coke better. But if we're talking about the brands and their flavors overall, probably lean towards Pepsi. I'm a big, big Diet Dew drinker. I love my Diet Mountain Dew. And my regular, but just, my Diet Dew. Emogak, hello Emogak, asks, who pooped in the shoe? Emogak asks, is Lostgomtius best ship? This is, of course, referring to the trifecta shipped pairing of Kagome, the Lost Narrator, and myself. That's what she's wondering. Well, Emogak, wonder no more, as I'm going to fade this picture onto the screen here and prove that, yes, indeed, Lostgomtius is best ship. You like that? You got diabetes yet? Yeah, I bet you do. Isn't that adorable? Yeah. So, next question. Mika asks, would you like some cake? Oh man, as much as I am trying to watch my figure, yes. I would love some cake, but I need to get fit and flex my buff self at the con this August. We'll see how that goes. Because cake. I love cake. Second question is, when is the full version of I ragazzi della spiaggia coming out? Yeah, about that. That was just me messing around with my acapella stuff. I don't think I have the patience to do the full version of I Get Around. For those of you at home who did not use Google Translate that needed to, I ragazzi della spiaggia is Italian for the Beach Boys. Or it's a rough translation to the Beach Boys, I think. So, yeah, if you're ever wondering what that random-ass video is, yep, that's what that is. Prince Duskshine has a few questions. Do you take fanfic and creepypasta requests? In a way, yeah. I take suggestions. I like to word it that way, because if someone leaves a comment and says, hey, can you check this out? Can you read this? Well, I may not reply to you. I will check it out. And if I like it, yeah, maybe I'll do it. If I don't, I might be like, I don't know. But if I do like it, yeah, I will add it to the queue. I have a very long queue right now. But wait, long queue, wasn't that a villain? And wasn't that like one of the monsters in FF13? Well, whatever. I'm a nerd. It happens. Next question, along with OblivionFall, is, what's the meaning of life? That's deep. Are you sure you want to know? Are you really sure you want to know this? This is your last chance to back out. Are you sure you want to know what the meaning of life is? That's a good howler. That's your answer. I know. He's a good puppy. There's your answer. Next question from Prince Duckshine, also asked by Applesauce and West Aussie Brumby, is, how did you meet Wooten AIE, Emogak, and the Lost Narrator? And just all the narrators in general, I think, is the question. Honestly, a lot of it came from just networking through all the various projects we just were in together. Like in No Place Like Home and Crisis and random Bogout Brony stuff. I think there's a KP project in there somewhere. But yeah, it's just general networking. And we just kind of decided, hey, let's do stuff together. And that's what became of that. And they're all very, very good friends of mine. And we have loads of fun working together on stuff. Like, especially when Wooten asks me to add music to his things. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Who's your favorite pony? Asked by Prince Duckshine and Astro Brony. Those of you who know me well, you're just probably rolling your eyes that yes, indeed, that best pony is Rarity. Moving on. What's your thoughts on Clop and Darkfix? Well, this is actually a really interesting question. I'm going to start with the Darkfix part. I love Darkfix. Like I mentioned, I was a fan of horror movies and creepypastas, but the thing about Darkfix and just dark stories is that when you have characters that are put in some kind of situation where like hope is bleak or there's some kind of just, you know, something dark on the horizon, it really brings out their true colors. Like, it starts to show the deepest parts of their personality. And that, to me, really sells it home for character development. When people's lives and well-beings are at stake, they're going to show, like, the full side of their darker selves. They're going to get serious and just, they're going to work towards and display what really matters. I hope that makes sense, what I'm trying to convey here. Clop, on the other hand, I don't mind it. I'm not offended by it, but it's not really something I get my jollies from, shall we say. It kind of goes like this. If there's, and this kind of goes with the Darkfix as well, if there is something that does not appeal to your values or something that you think you know you're going to take offense to, just don't click on it. You know? Move along. Yeah, the internet's a vast place. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff on it. But if you don't like it, I mean, if it's not your cup of tea, then hey. Getting off that point, about Clop in general, you know, yeah, it's out there. It's not going anywhere. So, to the end of what I was just talking about, just avoid it if it's not your cup of tea. It kind of runs along the lines of, like, pornography. That's essentially what it is. It's written pornography. Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to appeal to people who are not looking for story. They just want to see, you know, lewd sex scenes and all that stuff. To that comes my answer. I like stories with substance. It's what I try to do my stories and things that I upload. So to that end, you will very, very likely never see Clop go up on my channel. Yeah, like with pornography and Clopfics, you're not going to read it or watch it for the story. You're going to read it or watch it for the, shall we say, intimacy. If you want a story with substance, then that's where you're going to dive a little bit deeper. You're going to kind of go away from that. Now, that's not to say that stories with mature content, that goes with Dark and Clopfics, don't have substance. It's to the effect that you can have a story that, has like some kind of mature themed material in it, and obviously it's going to be marked for that. But typically, stories with like substance and a lot of that are more about the story and about the characters, it will probably not include that to such specific detail, shall we say. Yeah, to summarize, it's not my thing, but I'm not offended by it at the same time. I accept that it's around. I accept it's a thing. I hope that answers your question. Next, the Lost Narrator has questions. First question is, along with Applesauce, is wondering, what is your current setup with mic, software, etc.? Oh man, here come the eye rolls and cringes and clickings of the unsub button. Whew, here we go. So, I record with my Blue Yeti, and typically I record in my basement, man cave, in the storage room. But if I'm doing like a yelling roll or bulk biceps, since he's always like, yeah! I'll probably take it to the back seat of the Valkyrie, which, yes, you guessed it, that is indeed the name of my car. So, yeah, I record in one of those places into Audacity. I finalize all the audio with, like, I add music, sound effects, change voices up as I need to. I finalize that audio, and then I put it into iMovie, where I add any and all video effects that I wish to do. And yeah, most of my effects come from audio because the movie part's usually a lot easier because I am pretty neurotic when it comes to my audio. So that is what I do for that. Next question is, who pooped in the goddamn shoe? God fucking damn it! Alright, you know what? Clearly I'm the one who's being accused of this, so it's been asked so many times, so you know what? Fuck it. You hear that? You hear that sound in your shoe when you're walking around? It was me. It was me. I did it. Are you fucking happy? God! Apparently no one else, because he's in the shoe. God. No respect. No respect in this fandom. Oh my god. Next question. Moving on. Isn't Rarajack the best ship around? It's totally better than Toy Dash, you fucking casual. Oh my god, Lost! You are losing points with me. You are losing points! Come on, man! Oh my god. To tie this in with another question from Astro Brony. Yes, my preferred ship pairing is Toy Dash. But Lost apparently can't let a guy have his own frickin' opinion! But, you know, on the other hand, Lost, we can agree, at least, that both of our preferred pairings are a little bit better than a certain other pairing that we know. Next question is, what is your proudest moment in life so far? Well, my proudest moment in life was graduating from college and getting into my career field. Let me tell you guys, for those of you who are in college, going to be starting college, yeah, the struggle is real. When you get out of school, you will very likely not get a job in the profession you studied for right away, unless you're like, going into like med school, law school, and working up from there. But yeah, it's really hard getting a job in your preferred career field. But you just got to keep on trying. You got to keep trying. And that means if you have to, work a job you hate for a while, you got to do it. I did it. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this right now who did it. And eventually, something will give. You will, as long as you have that ambition, that drive to do what you want to do, you'll get there. I promise you. If you have the ambition, you will get there. Now, what I do for my channel here, I don't do for a job. But it is in the field. It is in the field. It's not what I expected to do, but it is in the field. That's what counts the most. And I do really like my job. I love the people I work with. So as long as you have that ambition to get into your field, you'll make it. Just keep trying. Do not give up. I know that was a real, real turn from joking around with Lost back there, but keep trucking along. You'll make it. Next question is, who are you taking with you to the narrator's ball? Well, you know full well who I'm taking to the narrator's ball, Losty. You know her very well. She's smart and funny and sweet, despite what she may ever have to say. She makes sailors cringe with her potty mouth. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's you. You and I are going to have a wonderful evening at the narrator's ball, and I look forward to it. I even already have your corsage ordered. Next question, which came from Lost and OblivionFall, is what is a character you wish you could voice, but no you can't? Oh man. So, growing up in the 90s, I was a big fan of Tony Jay's voice. Like when you listen to him in, what was it? He was in Reboot. He was Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then years later, in the first Fallout game, I think he voiced one of the main villains, I think. And at that point, just like, well, Tony Jay's this guy. I am joining the bad guys. See ya! But no, he just had this mighty bass that just screamed villain. I loved it. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other roles he was in, but my God, when he talked, I was like, God, I wish I had his voice sometimes, or I could emulate his voice. Another one was Jim Cummings. That goes back to how I liked the Sonic cartoon growing up. When he was the voice of Dr. Robotnik. And he did a really good job, because I always just want to be like, Snively! And I just always wanted to emulate that, but I just don't feel like I could do it justice is all. And then, this last one. When I found out when I was younger that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, was the voice of the Joker, I flipped my shit. Like ever since I was seeing the Joker on Batman the Animated Series, he was insane. I loved his voice, where he was like, on the contrary, Batty, the fun's just begun. Which, again, with the fucking shit you just heard there, does not give it justice. It does not give it justice, and it drives me nuts. I really wish I could do a good Joker, but I'll keep working at it. Maybe one day. Last question from Lost Narrator is, so who inspired your OC's design? Was it another narrator who is constantly lost? Oh my God, no! Lost! What was with the condescending questions? You just think I'm just copying over here or something? No! I designed this like a couple years ago, and by the time that I started using it more often for productions and whatnot, when I met Lost, I was like, oh my God, we almost look like Rule 63s of each other. Just like with a slightly different coat color and main design, because I got the lavish locks going on, after all. So, yeah, I think that wraps up Lost questions, and, wait. Oh. Just you wait, Lost. People are already shipping us, and we still have the narrator's ball. Mark my words, Lost. One day. The next question comes from Dark164, and that is also asked by Astro Brony, Mobab Scribbler, and West Aussie Brumby. And that question is, what's your favorite MLP fic? It's actually one that I've done already, called Naked Singularity. I'm going to link that in the description below as well. Oh my God. When I first read this story, it takes a lot for something like that I'm reading to make me laugh so hard that I fall off my couch reading it. It's like I almost actually did. I was dying at just how hilarious this story was written. And comedy-wise, that's probably my favorite. Otherwise, I really like the Silent Ponyville series, which is something that I will be doing in the future. If you saw I Met a God today, I referenced that at the end saying, "Coming soon, Silent Ponyville." But I won't be narrating like that, I promise. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. And there's so many more that are just so well done, but I'm sure I'd think of them in the future and be like, "Ah, should have said that." But yeah. Next question is from Reformed Discord, and he asks, favorite 90s TV show? Ooh. So like every 90s kid who was right in the head, I really enjoyed Boy Meets World. It was just fun. It was just really fun to watch. Like I couldn't always catch it with like continuity, but I spent a lot of time on Nickelodeon though, and my favorite, I'm going to give you two answers to this. My favorite animated one was Rocko's Modern Life. It was just so hilarious. It was me and all my best friends. We would just come home from school almost every night, do our homework for a bit, and then be like, "Shit, let's go watch Rocko's Modern Life." And it was just our thing. It was a lot of fun. And watching it years later, I was like, "Oh my god, there are so many adult jokes in here. How did I not get in trouble for this?" Yeah, my other favorite show, it was a live action show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Again, going back to how much I love dark and horror stuff, I really liked that show. And yeah, some of the plots were really hammy, but some of them were really freaky. Three off the top of my head that freaked me the hell out. There's this like cyberspace video game one. There's the one with the basement door, the one with the basement door that had all sorts of the weird shit in it. And then this one really hit home because how much I love swimming. There's this monster in this pool. And just, it was just designed really freaky. This shit was like legit scary when you're like 7 years old. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. OblivionFall. Hi, Obliviboo. He asks, how many booties could Goody Booty if a Goody Booty could booty booties? I did the math. 76. 76. That's individually. If we were talking simultaneously, 25, baby. 25 strong. Question 2. If Rarity were to appear before you right now, what would you do? Glomp, cuddle, and answer your next question, which is favorite and least favorite number, and why? My favorite number is 16. It's actually my lucky number, because it was the day of the month I was born in. And my least favorite number is probably 444444444444444, because that is the number you see on your phone before the Ju-On curse kills you. Yes, I love the series. I'm sorry. Okay? Watch the Japanese ones and you'll see what I mean. Favorite musical. Touched on this a little earlier. I really enjoy Les Miserables, especially because of the music. That's probably one of the main selling points for the musical itself. I just really like the music. I would really like to see the new Count of Monte Cristo musical. I have the soundtrack, but I haven't actually seen the musical yet. But the soundtrack, oh my god, it's fucking epic. I hate using the word epic because of how much it was overused in years past, but that's really the best way to describe it. It's so good. It just hits home with just pure, raw passion and emotion. You can expect a cover of one of those songs from me in the future with Heather Feather song. I Will Be There. That's the name of the song. I will probably release that hopefully in the near future, but you can expect that. Though my favorite musical, probably Phantom of the Opera. You can probably expect some covers from that as well, because Emogak and I, we are big fans of it. We love the music from it. We sang something from it from Wu-Tang's live stream a couple years ago, but it was a lot of fun. We will probably cover All I Ask of You. That was our song. It still is our song. And I just realized this is OblivionFall's question. I swear nothing happened. Please don't hurt me. I love you both. I'm going to snuggle you and I'm going to nibble on your nose and I'm going to lick your face. Next question is, would you rather have a sexagenticentilion booties or a novemquinquagintillion bosoms? Okay, I honestly don't know how to read that with your metric system, okay? The stupid metric imperial differential, I don't get it. So, I don't know how I would calculate that with those metric measurements. I'm going to go with the sexagentocentillion booties because I'm a booty man. I'm your goody booty man. Look at that goody. Show me the goody. Right here, baby. Astro Brony asks, favorite background pony? Probably a tie between Octavia and Lyra. I think it's just because of the way that, the fandom's written them. I just love how all the different personalities they received. It's really cool when you think about it. Octavia because of the classy musician side, which I can relate to. And Lyra just because just how hilarious she's written. I hear Emogak voice Lyra in so many things. She's just so funny. It's just, especially how she's written as like how random and crazy she is when she's like with Bon Bon or whatever. And it's just really funny. Hopes for season 5. I'm okay with just sitting back and seeing what they do with it. I don't really walk in with expectations, or, that's how you just, have a little disappointment. So, I like to take the show for what it's worth and see what they do with it, because it's a fun show. Yeah, I just don't really have expectations. So we'll see what they do, and by the time of this recording, that will be starting this Saturday, I think. So, yeah. If I could only pick 5 people to fend off the zombie apocalypse with, who would they be? Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, Christopher Walken, and we would need probably Jason Statham to drive us around everywhere, and Lost Narrator, because I need a good drinking buddy. Applesauce and EmberDim both ask, what is it that got you into reading creepypastas specifically? Well, like I said, big fan of horror, and probably when I first listened to Mr. Creepypasta, because, here's the thing. Anyone can set up a microphone and hit record and go from there. But I think the first pasta I listened to from him was Jeff the Killer. And while I'm not a big fan of, Jeff the Killer from A Monster or whatever, I liked that when he was reading it, he had like page flips, because he was reading excerpts, and it's kind of like set up so as if he were, just reporting something. Like just reading it right there. I thought that was really cool. It kind of, like with the picture he gave of Jeff on the screen, it kind of made you think the whole time, especially with the way he's narrating it. Is he gonna come to this reader right now? Is he about to come off him or something? What the hell's going on? Just that kind of thing. And I listened to more stories from him and other people, and I thought, why aren't I doing this? I'm gonna do this. Why the hell not? I'll apply my own effects and all that stuff, and I'll have fun with it. Because that's all it really comes down to. It comes down to having fun. And my god, am I ever having fun with this. Kawaii Bata Desu asks, how would you explain to someone who didn't know you who you are in one sentence? Like the picture there sitting by the window? Like the finest wine getting better with time? Like the sunset every day, there's something special. We will never grow old.